What would you say if I told you that sciatica is not a medical condition, but it's actually a symptom of a medical condition and what that means? So when I was asking people topics for this month's videos, I was like, what should we look at? A couple people were like, how about sciatica? You don't have a lot of videos on sciatica. And I was like, yeah, why don't I have a lot of videos on sciatica? Oh, that's right, because I am irritated by sciatica as a diagnosis. And that's rare for me. I have a pretty good relationship with all the diagnoses that I work with people on, right? And just to be clear, I love people who have sciatica. I'm never irritated by the people who have sciatica. It's just that when you walk in and you tell me you have sciatica, I think we all feel like it tells us more than it actually does, right? So in today's video, I want to talk about what that means. Like, what does it mean and what does it not mean? Like, what information does it not give us when someone is told that they have sciatica? How we really need to be going deeper than this, how it is a symptom, not a medical condition. And then in the next video for this month, I'm going to talk about how we support people with sciatica. So let's just look at this definition that I found. And it's from Penn Medicine's website, and I'll link it below. Oh, side note, my name is Catherine. I'm the founder and principal therapist of LSM Clinic, a sport and remedial massage therapy clinic in East London. And in this channel, I share information about how the body works and things that you can do to be as close to pain-free as possible and still enjoy your favorite activities, just in case you're new here and we haven't met before. If you are, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. It's great to see you. Also, if you enjoy this video and would like to help more people see it, liking, sharing with somebody you know who has sciatica would be amazing. Subscribing so you get notified when we have more updates. All of that really helps support me and the channel and what we're trying to do. So thank you so much if you do any of those things. Okay, so let's look at this definition for sciatica. Sciatica refers to pain, weakness, numbness, or tingling in the leg. It is caused by injury to or pressure on the sciatic nerve. Sciatica is a symptom of a medical problem. It is not a medical condition by itself. And I was so glad that a few people had recommended that I do sciatica this month because that was so validating to me. When people come in and they're like, I have sciatica, it's like they think they have an answer of what's going on. They don't. They just have a description of one of their symptoms. They have a name for the symptom because sciatica, as it said, it's caused by injury to or pressure on the sciatic nerve. Now, from a pressure on perspective, which is really where we can help the most, we generally see it in three places. Like it can happen in other places, but generally these three. You have the piriformis, which is a muscle that goes from the kind of V shape at the bottom of the spine, in the middle of that to the outside of the leg. The sciatic nerve runs underneath that. So when it's coming out of the spine, and we'll have like a picture here probably of like the sciatic nerve and the piriformis as I'm talking about it. The piriformis can get tight and then push on the sciatic nerve. And whenever you put pressure on a nerve, that can create symptoms down the line, right? Like we have clients who have really tight calves and we actually release the piriformis and that helps the calf tension. So the piriformis can be pushing on the sciatic nerve. In a small percentage of the population, the sciatic nerve actually goes through the piriformis. And obviously that makes you much more prone to having sciatic nerve irritation from your piriformis. You can also have tension in your lower back. So the sciatic nerves comes out of L4, L5. And if the muscles in the lower back are tight and pressing, then that can squeeze on the sciatic nerve and then can give you those symptoms down the leg, in the back of the head, in the lower back. You can also have structural problems in the spine where the spine and the discs are degenerating. There's a misalignment, there's pinching. That can irritate the sciatic nerve and create problem all the way down the spine. Now, it's a little bit tricky with the spine because of how often people have spinal issues and don't have back pain. So sometimes you can get an image and see a problem structurally But that's going to be probably a whole other video, like that I'm thinking about making at some point in the future about how we have to be careful with imaging when we're looking at pain problems. But anyway, so when somebody comes into me, if their sciatica is caused by their piriformis being tight, that's one protocol. And if it's caused by lower back pain being tight, that's another. And both of those are pretty easy for us to handle, right? Relatively speaking, most of the time. If it's a spinal issue, if it's a problem in the actual spine, and there's disc degeneration or they need surgery, that's not something we can help with, right? Now, another thing it says in this definition, it can be caused by injury to the sciatic nerve. Like, what if the sciatic nerve has been injured? Well, that's a completely different department. And I think what happens is a lot of the time people, they go and they get a diagnosis of sciatica. They're told you have sciatica. Try these exercises, see if they work. But there's not always the additional investigation to find out what's going on. So, in that sense, for us, if we have somebody come in with sciatica, in one way, I love it because it's like, okay, this is very easy. We just check, is it the piriformis that's irritating? Is it the lower back irritating? Let's address those and see if that gets better. But I also kind of feel like it gives people this sense of, oh, well, I have sciatica. So I guess I just have sciatica. And I don't think it's always explained well to people either because you're given these exercises, but if you're not explained what these exercises are supposed to do, and depending on like what's going on in the body, sometimes doing the exercises can actually aggravate it. Because, for example, let's say you're given certain exercises to do, but your core is not strong enough. So you compensate with your hip flexors, which is going to squeeze and pull on your back more. That could make your sciatica worse. So some people will try the exercises. And because it's not really been assessed, like where the irritation on the sciatic nerve is in the line of the sciatic nerve, they can do stuff that actually makes it worse. They think, okay, I guess these exercises don't work. And then they're just like, oh, well, I guess I just have sciatica. I hope it doesn't flare out too much, and I hope I don't need surgery. Right? So if you reframe it and go, okay, sciatica isn't so much like a diagnosis of a condition, it is a description, it is a symptom of a medical problem. Do you see how that kind of switches how you look at it? So, like, I'm so excited to find this. I should probably like find some more sources, but I feel like Penn Medicine is a good source. Because yeah, even the NHS is like you'll be diagnosed with it. In the NHS website, it says, how long does sciatica last? Sciatica usually improves within 12 weeks, but this can vary significantly between individuals. For some people, symptoms take up to a year to settle, but can come and go within this time. And so I think this is the thing that a lot of people get. They get, okay, you have sciatica, it'll probably settle in the next few weeks. You should be okay. But I don't love this approach. And the way that we work with clients with sciatica, where we see that it's muscle, and a lot of the times it is a muscular issue, a very large amount. Or maybe we just see the people who have the muscular issue, right? So that's what I'm going to talk about in the next video, is how we help that and what you can do to help your sciatica if it's got a muscular basis versus like a structural, or you've damaged your nerve. Just a little side note, if you're watching this and you're just doing research on sciatica and you are not familiar with the red flags, I'm going to put a link below to check the red flags, because there are certain red flags that you need to be really aware of. Like things include like altered feeling when you use toilet paper, difficulty to urine, difficult to control your bowels or your bladder. Like there's a few. So I'm going to put the link below for the red flags just so you can be aware of them. Anyway, so that is why I'm saying today that I really love the idea of reclassifying sciatica from a medical condition to a symptom, because just like a cough is a symptom, right? When you have a cough, yes, it's a cough. It's a description. Okay, you have a cough, but it could be pneumonia, it could be tuberculosis, it could be a viral infection, it could be cancer, it could be different things, because it's a symptom. And I think that is such a better way to think of sciatica than as a condition, because it's a symptom of a problem. And then that gives you the opportunity to do more investigation as to what that problem is. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And if you're not subscribed, please do. You can also subscribe to our email list where I'll email out as I release new videos, if I share tips that aren't videos, or if I pull up old videos that I think are relevant for the time of year we're in. So you can subscribe down below. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.